What if one man could rise from humble beginnings to rule most of Europe and then lose everything? Napoleon Bonaparte was not born a king. He was not rich, powerful, or connected to royalty. Yet through intelligence, ambition, and military genius, he became one of the most influential figures in world history. This is the story of Napoleon Bonaparte, his rise, his empire, and his dramatic fall. Napoleon Bonaparte was born in 1769 on the island of Corsica, shortly after it became part of France. His family belonged to minor nobility, but they had little money or influence. From a young age, Napoleon felt like an outsider. He spoke French with a strong Corsican accent and was often mocked by his classmates. Instead of trying to fit in, Napoleon turned to books. He studied history, mathematics, geography, and the great military commanders of the past. He developed a deep belief that he was destined for greatness. By the age of 16, Napoleon graduated from military school and joined the French army as a second lieutenant. At the time, France was on the brink of massive change. In 1789, the French Revolution erupted, the monarchy collapsed, and the country descended into chaos. While many feared the instability, Napoleon saw opportunity. He supported the revolution and used the political turmoil to rise rapidly through the military ranks. Napoleon's first major moment came in 1795. Royalist forces threatened the revolutionary government in Paris, and Napoleon was ordered to defend the city. He used cannons to fire directly into the attacking crowd, crushing the uprising in minutes. The event made him famous and earned him powerful allies. Soon after, Napoleon was given command of the French army in Italy. His troops were poorly supplied and outnumbered, but Napoleon led them to a series of stunning victories. He used speed, surprise, and bold tactics to defeat much larger armies. Europe was shocked. France had found a new hero. By the age of 30, Napoleon was one of the most famous men in France. In 1799, he seized power in a coup and became first consul of France. Although France was officially a republic, Napoleon held almost complete control. In 1804, Napoleon took his ambition even further. He crowned himself Emperor of France in a grand ceremony. By placing the crown on his own head, Napoleon sent a clear message. His power came from his achievements, not from royal blood or divine right. As emperor, Napoleon introduced sweeping reforms. He created the Napoleonic Code, which established equality before the law, protected property rights, and ended many feudal privileges. This legal system influenced laws in many countries and is still used in parts of the world today. Napoleon also reformed education, improved infrastructure, and strengthened the French economy. Under his rule, France became more efficient and centralized than ever before. But Napoleon's ambition did not stop at France. He wanted to dominate Europe. Through a series of wars, he defeated powerful enemies including Austria, Prussia, and Russia. His armies moved faster than any before them, striking quickly and decisively. At the height of his power, Napoleon controlled most of continental Europe. He placed his brothers and loyal generals on the thrones of conquered nations. For a time, he seemed unstoppable. However, one enemy always stood in his way: Great Britain. Napoleon failed to defeat Britain at sea, suffering a major loss at the Battle of Trafalgar. Unable to invade the island, he attempted to weaken Britain through an economic blockade known as the Continental System. Instead, it damaged European economies and increased resistance to his rule. In 1812, Napoleon made his greatest mistake. He decided to invade Russia. He marched in with over 600,000 soldiers, the largest army Europe had ever seen. But the Russians refused to fight directly. They retreated deeper into the country, burning cities and supplies behind them. When Napoleon finally reached Moscow, the city was nearly empty and set on fire. With winter approaching and no supplies, Napoleon was forced to retreat. The Russian winter was brutal. Freezing temperatures, starvation, and disease destroyed his army. Only a small fraction survived. The defeat in Russia shattered Napoleon's image of invincibility. His enemies united against him, and in 1814 he was defeated and forced to abdicate the throne. Napoleon was exiled to the small island of Elba, but the story did not end there. In 1815, Napoleon escaped Elba and returned to France. Soldiers sent to arrest him instead joined his side. This dramatic return to power became known as the 100 Days. Europe quickly responded. Napoleon faced a combined army at the Battle of Waterloo. After a long and brutal fight, he was decisively defeated. This time, there would be no return. Napoleon was exiled again, this time to the remote island of St. Helena in the South Atlantic. There, isolated and watched closely, he spent his final years reflecting on his life and legacy. He died in 1821 at the age of 51. Today, Napoleon Bonaparte remains one of history's most complex figures. To some, he was a tyrant who brought war and destruction. To others, he was a brilliant military commander and reformer who reshaped Europe. Napoleon proved that talent and ambition could change the world, but also that unchecked ambition can lead to downfall. His influence on law, warfare, and leadership is still felt today. Napoleon Bonaparte remains one of history's most complex figures. Before history closed the final chapter on Napoleon, the world paused to judge him. Europe had been reshaped by his victories and scarred by his wars. Borders had changed, kings had fallen, and millions had lived and died under the shadow of his ambition. From a young Corsican outsider, Napoleon had climbed higher than any man of his time, but the cost of that rise was enormous. His brilliance lifted nations, yet his hunger for power exhausted them. As he sat alone on St. Helena, far from the battlefields that once trembled at his name, Napoleon faced the greatest enemy of all, time. His empire was gone, but his story was not. What remained was a question history still asks: was Napoleon a hero, a tyrant, or both? Follow Achiever Studio. Let's dive into history together. Napoleon Bonaparte changed the course of world history with ambition, strategy, and power. Was he a heroic reformer or a ruthless conqueror? Share your thoughts in the comments. Like, subscribe,